It's like seeing you have a big fight with the wife for going to a wedding or something like that. You go, right, put on a brave face, and we can resume the hostilities when we get home. It's a very much a kind of, right, okay, everyone on board for the final kind of push. No one's particularly, I don't think Celtic are particularly still not convinced that the Green Brigade are going to fully behave themselves. They're doing it through gritted teeth. I think the Green Brigade are coming back in, knowing fine well the same issues that have been there all season are still there. But it seems like kind of, I don't want to use that metaphor at the moment, what's going on in the world, but a kind of temporary ceasefire. It does feel like a kind of, right, okay, let's park everything. Let's park all the issues, all the anger and angst, and try and be unified for the final push. They have got 4 games out of 6 at home. So they could do with Celtic Park being back to being somewhere that teams don't like going, because at the moment it's not a fortress, it's a bouncy castle. Teams aren't worried about going there. They're actually using the crowd to their advantage against Celtic. This season, we heard John McGlynn talking about it earlier in the season. I've heard others mention it, that they can go there and sit tight for 20 minutes and turn the crowd against them. That can't happen in these 4 games. There's going to be times when Celtic are going to be struggling. They're going to be behind probably in games, as they are in most games this season. So they need the supporters to all be behind them. Listen, I think we sometimes go overboard about this. It's 250 fans that have been banned. I mean, it's not as if it's been like 15,000.
Yeah.
But the PR of them getting back in and creating a bit of noise, I think, might be a boost. I noticed a wee change at the Motherwell game at Parkhead last month when they went behind. It seemed a bit more positive and a bit less of a kind of focus on the board and director's box rather than on the pitch. But so that has to be the way for Celtic for the next four home games. They have to be concentrating on the pitch, because I think this Celtic team and manager need all the help they can get, really, because everyone knows it's a patchwork side due to injury and recruitment. They've got Martin O'Neill in charge, 74 years old. I mean, goodness knows how he's not knackered at this point, because I think the rest of us all are after a long season. So I think it's a case of, right, park everything and just get behind. But it's so uneasy that if Celtic go and get beat on Saturday, all bets are off, because they're going to be howling at the director's box again, because the problems that are in the background. It's like I say, it's like when you have the argument with the wife before you go to the wedding. You come back with the wrong drink from the bar, you're going to get shouted at again. So it's still there. It's still going to be there. And whether or not they can all just play nice for the next 4 home games, who knows? But they should remember that there's a possibility of a really remarkable thing happening here. Celtic winning a title under Martin O'Neill again is an all-timer. I mean, that is something that they should relish for while it lasts. They've only got another 4 home games to enjoy that situation. Then he'll be off into the sunset. So why not just put your animosity to one side and try and support the team for the next few weeks?
Well, the Celtic Fan Collective have come out today and suggested exactly that, Keith. Delay till the final day is what they're asking for. I mean, we talked about it a bit last night, but what was your thoughts on the Green Brigade coming back?
Look, do you know what? Good for them. Bring their drums, make the noise and all this. But it's not changing anything. And what I'd be very wary about is, see if Celtic do go over the line. Let's bear in mind, it's nothing to do with the board. Right? All they've done, it would be, if Martin O'Neill does this, it's in spite of what the board have done. Board have done pretty much all they can to sabotage Celtic season by downgrading the playing squad all across the board, right? It's nothing to do with the fans of the Green Brigade either, because they've not done much to forge some sort of unity and bond. It's been divisive and toxic. So if Celtic do this, it's despite that element of their support as well. And what I wouldn't like, because I see all this, you know, the narrative now is changing. Oh, great, the Green Brigade's coming back. The Green Brigade's going to win us the title. Really? What position are they playing? Now, I appreciate it will make a difference to the atmosphere, and that's good. That's a good thing. Makes it, you know, noisy and a better environment to play games of football in. Once they're sticking to just supporting the team, that's all very well and good. But don't give me this. It's the Green Brigade what won it. If Celtic going to win this title, it's Martin O'Neill that's won it, and he's done it with almost 2 hands tied behind the back of his baggy tracksuit, because of all the circumstances and the warring factions around about him. So yeah, I hope that they come back in and behave themselves properly. support their team, but I fear the worst because, as Mick just said, can you imagine what that place looks like when the final whistle goes on Saturday afternoon if St Mirren have got a 2-0 win? Do you think they'll behave themselves, they'll walk away, they won't be screaming for changes and all sorts of vitriol flying about? I don't believe it for a second. In fact, what I would say to you is, I would imagine they'll be straight outside and into the car park and outside the main stand, and we'll see scenes that we've seen before. So Celtic are doing what they have to do here. As I said last night, Daniel, this is now short-term FC.
Yeah.
They've just got to try and hold it all together and get to a point where they can finish this season and put it to bed, and then deal with whatever they need to deal with in the summer. But yeah, I can see positives in the Green Brigade coming back and the stadium being a bit more noisy. But I'm telling you now, it could turn terribly. The flip side of the coin, if St Mirren look as if they're going to take something away for that place at the weekend, it really could, and the whole thing could blow up in everybody's face.
Francis in the comments says, Keith said in August Celtic's biggest threat this season was themselves, and sadly he was correct. And Big Rab says Engels being back is just as important as the Green Brigade being back. Are you having that, Mick? I know Keith last night was given that short shrift, but what do you think of Engels being back?
It wasn't so long ago photo when Engels at the team, and he's absence makes the heart grow fonder. As always, players who don't play are always turn to world beaters, don't they? I actually do think he is a decent player, and he'll be handy to have him back. It might allow Celtic to start him and be a bit more kind of selective with Oxlade-Chamberlain, whose fitness is getting better, but he's still not there yet in terms of 90 minutes, which is another issue this season. I think is going into April, which is madness.